ज्वाइन हम इससे करना पड़ेगा।
साथी
इससे करना पड़ेगा जी।
पर यहाँ जब हम बोलेंगे भाई
यहाँ तो करेगा ही ना,
इसमें हम
वही तो कर रहे हैं, इसको करने का क्या जोड़ है? गलत कर ही रहा है।
जब हम दूसरे को सुनेंगे तो ना जी
गणेश तो 5 मिनट देख लीजिए। गणेश को ज्वाइन नहीं करना पड़ेगा इस पर आने के लिए? नहीं, यहाँ बताया जाएंगे हमको क्या ज्वाइन करना पड़ेगा।
यहाँ वाले तो बाहर वाले नहीं यहाँ ज्वाइन करेंगे।
ठीक है ठीक है, चलो
मैडम ज्वाइन कर ली है। हाँ देखें
बच्चा सब है सर 10 वर्ष को कौन यहाँ पर कौन पर हो बाहर में दूसरा स्कॉलर्स अगला पैसा हो और जेमा फरमाइश सब अपन जाते हैं सब पैसा।
रिकॉर्ड होगा ना,
यूट्यूब पर लाइव चल रहा है। यूट्यूब पर लाइव चल रहा है।
शुरू कर दो।
हाँ मैं काउंट कर दूँ 7
मैं कौन है?
हाँ
अच्छा ये सब आ रही है।
मैं तो नाम लिख के दो ना, हमको तो नाम नहीं मालूम है। तुम चलो अच्छे नाम ऐड कर दो, तो कागज पर लोगों ने एड्रेस करें क्या है, मतलब क्या है नहीं करता।
अच्छा से ना
साइंटिस्ट सी काई
नहीं ला कागज ला ऐसे नहीं होता।
ये कर दिया
दूसरा तो ना
मेरा कोड है ये।
उस पर प्रोग्राम दिए हैं, उस पर लिखा ही
हमको कहाँ दिया हमको दे दो, प्रोग्राम दे दो।
शुरू करें। A very warm and good morning on this auspicious day that is being celebrated as World Wetlands Day in the University Department of Zoology. I have this proud privilege in extending a very warm welcome to all those who are present here offline as well as those who are linked online. Let me begin by extending my welcome to the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Lalit Sinha, who had been very instrumental for all such kind of academic initiatives on the campus. And I feel that such kind of celebrations which are being organized by various departments on various dates for various themes, this is a very academic initiative that is going to add academic worth as well as academic phase of this university in days to come, and certainly this will go in the records when we face back in days to come. Professor Lalit Sinha, being the Pro Vice Chancellor, had been a very distinguished academic career behind her as the Professor of Physics, Patna University. Having had a distinguished academic background and research interest, she had been a very prominent voice in all such academic initiatives on the campus. I welcome her on this auspicious day that is being celebrated by the University Department of Zoology, Mithila University, on 2nd of February as World Wetlands Day. I have also this proud privilege in extending a welcome to Professor Vidya Nacha, ex-principal, but more importantly as a distinguished scientist, a very active person in so many kinds of academic, social as well as research-oriented programs. Professor Vidya Nacha had his experience, a long experience in this field, and he has kindly agreed to give a keynote address on today's theme on World Wetlands Day. I extend a warm welcome to Professor Vidya Nacha. Then we are so happy to have Dr. Archana Sinha, Principal Scientist, CIFRI, Barrackpore, for having agreed to deliver the second keynote address that talks about World Wetlands Day. She had been associated with this department since quite long. So again, I extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Archana Sinha. Besides, on the dais here in the department, I extend warm welcome to our professor and head, Bimlandu Shekhar Jha, who happens also to be the Dean of Science Faculty of Mithila University. A very dynamic person, always coming in front in such academic initiatives. Today, he will be presenting the theme of today's Wetlands Day. Followed by, I have my friend Dr. Shishir Kumar Verma, who had been a long experience in the field of Wetlands Day, plus Professor Maleshwar Singh, who are present here. So with these words, I just add few things about wetland. That wetland that is popularly known as in local language chaur. This is a very important part of the ecosystem, that is part of the ecology. Not only that, it is regarded as a very rich source of fresh water, also a house for many kinds of plant species as well as animal species, including microorganisms. So they play a very vital role in maintaining a sustainable natural ecosystem. So I understand that this day being given its due with regard to the topic that is preservation, expansion and popularity will certainly go a long way in creating awareness among the masses, among the students and all those who are concerned, because life is possible and sustainable only when we have a healthy ecosystem on our planet. With these words, I again extend a very warm welcome to all those who are present offline as well as linked online. Now, I invite Professor Bimalendu Shekhar Jha, Professor and Head of this Department of Zoology, also the Dean of Faculty of Science, for the theme speech. Professor B.S. Jha, please.
फोकस को ठीक करो ना। हाँ ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है। Vice Chancellor of Mithila University, Darnhanga, Professor S.P. Singh, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dolly Sinha, who has been the source of inspiration for all of us to organize events like this. My departmental colleagues, Professor S.K. Verma, Professor M. Nihal, Professor Bhaveshwar Singh, the two resource persons available to us, who has been kind enough to give their consent to grace this occasion as resource person, Dr. Archana Sinha, Principal Scientist, Sifri Barakpur, and my younger brother, Professor Vidyanand Jha, a very talented fellow, with whom I have a long association of some 50 years. When he came after passing matriculation to CM Science College, where we were the boarders of new hostel. I was senior to him by 1 year. So, we have a very long association. A nice gentleman and a dedicated worker. So, I welcome all of you on behalf of my department and on behalf of the Faculty of Science. Being Dean of the Faculty of Science, it becomes my duty to welcome you on behalf of Faculty of Science also. We have been assigned, we were communicated to organize this event just a day before. So there may be a lot of shortcomings, because had we been given a few times, it could have been given a better shape. But then we tried, our colleagues, not me, actually I was engaged in some other works of university, but my colleagues from yesterday, they took all the points and organized this event, and it is in this form before all of you. So I once again pay my obligation to my departmental colleagues. So before that, I have been assigned the task, rather onerous task, of introducing the theme of today's event. So friends, as you know, since 1971, the world, or at the global level, we have been celebrating February 2 every year as World Wetlands Day, to raise awareness about wetlands. This day, that is February 2, also marks the anniversary of the Convention on Wetlands, which was adopted as an international treaty in 1971 in the Iranian city of Ramsar on the source of Caspian Sea. So, why World's Wetland Day? We all know that the degradation of wetlands started since 1700, and since then we have lost 90% of world wetlands. It has been degraded since 1700, and we are losing wetlands 3 times more faster than the forest. So you can just imagine what the ecological consequences will be if we continue to lose wetlands at this pace. Wetlands, as all of you know, is critically important ecosystem that contribute to biodiversity, climate mitigation and adaptation, freshwater availability, aquatic crops, fisheries and many more. It provides sustainable environment to plants and organisms within the water bodies, and even it raises the groundwater level. Over time, this overpopulation and consequent human construction by the human beings, this has created a lot of ecological problems affecting wetlands, and ecologists claim that humans should recognize this dilemma before the loss of a natural filter and conserver of world. Wetlands are often referred to as liquid assets, and these are the most crucial natural resources that help stabilize water supplies, cleans polluted water, protect shorelines and recharge the groundwater aquifers. So the key message of the World Wetland Day is to call for setting up investment of financial, human and political capital to save the wetlands from disappearing and to restore those we have degraded. So in nutshell, it is urgent to raise national and global awareness about wetlands in order to reverse their rapid loss and encourage actions to conserve and restore them. And that is why the theme of World Wetland Day 2022, 2022 का theme of wetlands is Wetlands Action for People and Nature. So such being the importance of wetlands and the fast rate at which these wetlands are being degraded invites immediate scientific and governmental attention. And in this light, the organization of an event like this keeps much importance. I thank the university authority for giving an opportunity to the Department of Zoology to organize this event, and I don't want to come between the resource persons, the two resource persons and the audience. So without losing any time, I once again call upon all the stakeholders of society, be they the students or the administrators or the teachers or even the research workers, or for that matter even the politicians, that not to encroach the wetlands for human construction, for other developmental activities. Rather, we need to conserve these natural resources, the gift of the nature. And North Bihar particularly was very rich in wetlands. We still remember our childhood when in every village there used to be smaller wetlands. Now we don't find them. So these natural resources, which are at least nowadays up till this time, till date, available with us in Bihar especially, be conserved thank you all for giving me an opportunity and for giving this department to organize this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor V.S. Jha, for the contentful theme speech, very relevant to the details, intricacies, and importance of this World Wetlands Day. Now, I have this proud privilege of requesting Professor Dolly Sinha, the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of the University, to have her kind words on the day. Professor Dolly Sinha, please.
Namaskar. Good morning to you. Respected Dean, Faculty of Science, Dr. V.S. Jha, Dr. Santosh Kumar, Head Geography, Dr. Shishir Kumar Verma, Professor, Department of Zoology, all other faculty members of Department of Zoology and other departments, distinguished speakers, Dr. Archana Sinha, Principal Scientist, Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, Barrackpur, West Bengal, Dr. Vidyanathan Jha, the other keynote speaker today. He is one of the retired professor of botany of this university, support staff members, representative of print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, my dear students, my greetings to all of you, and I extend my appreciation to the faculty members and students of the Department of Zoology, Mithila University, for organizing this event on World Wetlands Day. The theme, its preservation, expansion and popularity, is a very important issue. Today is World Wetlands Day. So let me first define what is wetland for the benefit of the students and general participants. As per the broad definition of Cancer Convention, wetlands are areas of marsh with land, bodies with water, it may be natural or artificially made, static or flowing, fresh or brackish or salt, including areas of marine water, the depth of which at low tide does not extend beyond 6 meters. It may be permanent or temporary. As Dr. Jha has already mentioned, wetlands are vital ecosystems that contribute to biodiversity, climate mitigation and adaptation, fresh water availability, global economies and more. And as is already mentioned, since the year 1700, nearly 90% of the world's wetlands have been degraded, and wetlands are disappearing 3 times faster than forests. It is important to take action to ensure the conservation and sustainable use of wetlands for the health of the planet Earth and thereby human survival. Every year on February 2nd, World Wetlands Day is commemorated to promote awareness about wetlands. The celebration of World Wetlands Day this year is especially significant as the UN General Assembly adopted resolution on August 30th, 2021, establishing 2nd February as World Wetlands Day. The Ramsar Convention came into force in 1971 but was effective in 1975 with a mission to conserve and use wisely all wetlands through local and national actions and international cooperation. As a contribution towards achieving sustainable development throughout the world, the Convention also takes care of the wetlands, where the wetland spread across the boundaries of more than one nation. It is the only international treaty that addresses a specific ecosystem, that is the wetland. Since its inception through the Ramsar Convention, every year Wetlands Day is given a theme, and this year's theme is Wetlands Action for People and Nature. World Wetlands Day observed to aware people, particularly the youth, to understand the value of wetlands and its usefulness for environmental sustainability. It is useful to have conversations to spread the message of love the wetlands and take resolve to protect, manage and restore the wetlands. Make action plans and coordinated act to motivate and mobilize the youth for water resource management. The role of young people in reviving the natural world is very important, and they need to be reminded, motivated and involved. I remember Sam Barrett, head of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, for Youth Education and Advocacy Unit, frequently reminds the youth and states the world, quote unquote, the world is facing a three-pronged environmental crisis of climate change, nature and biodiversity loss, and pollution and waste. To turn around the planet's fortunes, the participation of young people will be the key, unquote. My dear students, why did we include Wetlands Day in the university event calendar? Here I would like to make you aware that Mithila University has prepared an annual event calendar which has 40 events listed in it. And we remind the respective departments to kindly organize the events on the expected date. So, my dear students, a listed copy is available with the IQAC of Mithila University, and it is also available on the university website. So, all important days are celebrated. Many, not all, but many important dates are celebrated by Mithila University to make our students aware of the importance of that day. So, we have listed or included World Wetlands Day in the university calendar, or in that matter, the Earth Day, World Environment Day, World Water Day, Tiger Day, Ozone Day and many more. Why we have included it? Because universities produce the leaders of tomorrow, and we can reach to millions of people through our few thousand students. First, we need to spark sustainable behavior among the students, and each one of you would be the ambassador to spread the message and act constructively. My dear students, we called you here to make you aware on what is wetlands. Through the invited lectures, because we have a very good speaker today, as we have already mentioned, you will come to know many interesting aspects about the importance of wetlands, the Ramsar Convention, how to manage wetlands and biodiversity in wetland, and many more things. There are about 47 Ramsar sites in India itself, and in our Bihar also we have one, that is Kabartal wetland near Begusarai, I think, and it extends 26.2 square kilometers. In our own Darnhanga, we had many wetlands and water bodies which we are losing at a very fast rate. Even if we can adopt one wetland and take a resolve to protect that, to manage that, that would be a great thing. I will appeal to the Department of Zoology and along with the Department of Geography, we can adopt one such very near to our university itself, and that is the Darnhanga Lake. I would like to remind my dear students that in 2021, UNO launched UNEP's Sustainable University Framework, which seeks to define what it means to be a sustainable university and lays out a pathway to becoming one, and the global guidance for education on green jobs. These initiatives are designed to give higher education, community, employers and youth organizations the tool to prepare students to participate in a green transition for the betterment of the health of the planet Earth. My dear students, you have an important role in shaping policies, regulations, action plans, strategies and institutional reforms, all leading to improved environmental conditions of the planet Earth and the socio-economic condition of the billions of people dwelling on this planet. The future is in your hand. On this important day, I would urge to my dear students to get motivated, get involved and act. I look forward to your cooperation. Thank you. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Lalit. Beginning with global, including national, and then also talking about local. This is how she covered the entire ambit of today's World Wetlands Day, and it truly impacting an example of what is called leading from front. Her talked about the history, where from it all began, what is present that we are facing, and also the future that we look forward to. So thank you very much again, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, for your very contentful, very useful, and I think addressing almost all important relevant aspects of the day in a very lucid and direct way. Thank you very much. Now, taking forward today's program, I am now to invite Dr. Archana Sinha from CIFRI, Barakpur, where she is working as the principal scientist, for her key speech. Dr. Archana Sinha, please.
मैडम का ऑडियो
फोन करो
She has to turn on her microphone.
Ma'am, please turn on the microphone.
That is off. You are not audible.
ऑन क्यों नहीं, बट उनका सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है लैपटॉप की, जिससे सब कनेक्ट हो रहा
बताओ तो मैडम, यू आर नॉट ऑडिबल, कनेक्ट योर
लीव कर दे, लीव हो गई, लीव हो गई
लेफ्ट
हाँ,
क्यों
जो पर
नहीं फोन से बात कर लो, ऐसे नहीं होता। वो अपना सिस्टम का हैंडल करने के लिए बुलाएगा, इनसे तो बुलाएगा।
जो भी करेंगे वो बोल के करवाओ। टेक्निकल हिच
नहीं ऑडिबल नहीं है तो उसको ठीक करवा लो, तब तक बीच में 10 मिनट के बाद स्पीकर हैं उनको एडजस्ट कर लो।
उनका जो फोन से या लैपटॉप से है वो सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है।
वो सुपर वो ये लैपटॉप से सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा।
कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
पूरे करो ना, वो बोलिए है।
Yes, actually there is some technical hitch and Dr. Archana Sinha, she is not audible and she is trying over there to connect back to us with all her voice. So taking advantage, taking this time gap, now we have to invite another key speaker of the day, that is Professor Vidyanath Jha, ex-principal and also a very active scientist in this field of wetlands. He had been very active research-wise. His academics revolved around all such issues. So I am really privileged to invite my friend Dr. Vidyanath Jha for his keynote address, please.
Yes. So thank you, Honorable VC Sir, Professor S.P. Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dolly Sinha Madam, Honorable Professor B.S. Jha, the Head of the Department of Zoology, LNMU, and also Dean of the Faculty of Science. He has been my elder brother and we were together in the new hostel, which is now being renovated by an alumnus of the college. I think it's a good gesture on the part of an alumnus there. My friend Professor M. Nihal, Professor Bhaveshwar Singh ji, Professor Shishir Kumar Verma ji, and the research scholars who are there, who are here in this hall. So today is the day, World Wetlands Day. It achieves a greater significance this year because the Department of Environment and Forests and Climate Change of the government of Bihar has been re-energized, and so much so that Kavartal of Begusarai, which has been declared as the first Ramsar site of the state of Bihar. We have been striving for it for over 3 to 4 decades, and it is right that even after such a long gap, Bihar has just woke up, and we have good news that other wetlands, including one Kusheshwarasthan wetlands in our own district, this has also been tipped for recognition as the Ramsar site, second Ramsar site of the state. Very recently, a few days ago, 2 to 3 days ago, it was in news, along with Badaila Chaur or Badaila wetlands of Vaishali district in Hajipur, then Goga Bil in Katihar district, then Saraiya Man in Champaran, and so on and so forth. A number of wetlands have now been tipped by the Bihar government for being recommended to be recognized as Ramsar sites of the state. So it is a good beginning this year. Next one. Wetlands are vital to the development of North Bihar. We shall be coming to this aspect as a case study of the Kusheshwarasthan wetlands in our own district. Next one. What are wetlands? I think this definition has been just given by our Honorable Vice Chancellor when she started her address, but I would like to just repeat it. Wetlands are areas of marsh, fen, peatland or water, whether natural or artificial, permanent or temporary, with water that is static or flowing, both static as well as flowing waters, fresh, brackish or salt, including areas of marine water, the depth of which at low tide does not exceed 6 meters. So I think just brackish also is there. I think Chilika Lake in Odisha is a brackish water lake, and Fen, Peatland, Mars, etc. These are overlapping terms. I think in Siberia there was a news that permafrost is melting there on account of global warming. So there are mosses, sphagnum mosses, they are there at very strata, at various strata of the Siberian lake. And on account of the permafrost that was there, that is melting on account of global warming. So this is a matter of concern. So this is the scenario. Next one. Then about Ramsar Convention also, she just mentioned about it. The convention was adopted in the Ramsar city, Ramsar it is called. We call it in India as Ramsar. Iran in 1971 and came into force in 1975. Since then, almost 90% of United Nations member states have become contracting parties. So next one, it is an intergovernmental treaty. Now there are 3 pillars of Ramsar Convention. Work towards the wide use of all the wetlands, designate suitable wetlands for the list of wetlands international importance and ensure their effective management, cooperate internationally on transboundary wetlands, shared wetland systems and shared species. Next one. There are 5 major wetland types that are generally recognized: marine, estuarine, lacustrine, riverine and palestrine. And the meaning has also been given alongside these nomenclatures. Next one. Why conserve wetlands? Now the topic of this year that includes the conservation of wetlands. Wetlands are among the world's most productive environments. They are cradles of biological diversity, providing the water and primary productivity upon which countless species of plants and animals depend for survival. They support high concentrations of birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish and invertebrate species. Wetlands are also important storehouses of plant genetic material. Rice, for example, which is a common wetland plant, is a staple diet of more than half of humanity. Just see. They are one of the most productive environments, and in our area we do not have much of forest. The forest that is there, natural forest that is there in our own state of Bihar, is localized in Champaran, West Champaran district, that is Balmiki National Park, and some forest is there in Jamui district. We do not have natural forest in other areas, but so far as our own Mithila area is concerned, we have enough of wetlands that serve as carbon sink, so they very much make up the loss of this forest in our area. Next one. Wetlands value. Wetlands provide tremendous economic benefits. For example, water supply, quantity and quality, fisheries. Over 2/3 of the world's fish harvest is linked to the health of coastal and inland wetland areas. Agriculture, through the maintenance of water bodies and nutrient retention in floodplains, timber production, energy sources such as peat and plant matter, wildlife resources, transport and recreation, and tourism opportunities. Next one. In addition, wetlands have special attributes as part of the cultural heritage of humanity. They are related to religious and cosmological beliefs, constitute a source of aesthetic inspiration, provide wildlife sanctuaries, and form the basis of important local traditions. These functions, values and attributes can only be maintained if the ecological processes of wetlands are allowed to continue functioning. Unfortunately, and in spite of important progress made in recent decades, wetlands continue to be among the world's most threatened ecosystems, owing mainly to ongoing drainage, conversion, pollution and overexploitation of their resources. Now in this slide, at the very outset, we have mentioned that cultural are part of the cultural heritage. Now here I would like to quote or mention about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has been one of the great saints of Bengal, and many of us perhaps do not know that he had his origin in this Mithila region. His forefathers migrated to Bengal from Madhubani district, village in Madhubani district. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disciples in Bengal who became Vaishnavas, initially they were forbidden, prohibited from taking fish. But after that, a problem related with gout developed in his disciples. The matter went to him, and the reason was traced, and it was found that after they stopped taking fish, eating fish, the problem developed. So then he allowed his disciples to start to again take up eating fish. Now in Bengal, we have Vaishnavas who eat fish. This tradition is not here in this area, but in Bengal, there are Vaishnavas who eat fish, and at the same time, they retain calling themselves as Vaishnavas. So this is how wetlands just influence our cultural attributes, cultural heritage. Next one. Now, there are 48 Ramsar sites, the list is there, and in different states, starting from the northwestern Himalayas. In Kashmir, we have Dal Lake, we have Bokarsar and several other lakes, and in the eastern side, we have Loktak Lake in Manipur. In between, in different states, we have a long list of Ramsar sites. And as I have already said at the outset, that Bihar government also has come out of its deep slumber, and one Kabartal has been recognized as Ramsar site. It is under the recommendation of the state government that the international body recognizes any wetland as Ramsar site. So this is the case, and on this auspicious day, we are observing this World Wetlands Day. Next one. Kabartal in Bihar designated as Ramsar site. Taken it from in the background we have lotus also, the pink flowers of lotus. Then there are birds. Next one. This is a certificate, covered wetland of international importance. Now the body, authorized body, issued this certificate. This is there on the Google. Next one. List of wetlands in Bihar. Just a covered hill. Begusrai, Kushizulastan, Darnhanga, Gogacha, Katihar, Saraiyaman, West Champaran, Badaila, Vaishali, Sultanganj, Bhagalpur. Now this Sultanganj 50-kilometer stretch of the river Ganga has been declared as the dolphin sanctuary, Gogabir and Katihar. So these are the livelihood prospects in the bird sanctuary areas of Kushizulastan wetlands in Darnhanga district of North Bihar. Yes, this is the situation. Go ahead. Yes. Location of Kushizulastan Bird Sanctuary. Now just see 3 rivers from this northern side. We have Kamla and other rivers. Just this Bagmati, Kare, and on the east there is Kosi. So 3 rivers they pour out their water in that area. Bihar government is trying hard to make it free of the inundated water outside, but how far it will succeed we cannot say right now. A large area on the border of Darnhanga, Samastipur and Saharsa districts, there is water logging, deep water logging, stretching even up to 6 months. So this is the situation in that area. Unfortunately, during 2019, we witnessed worst ever scenario related with water loss. Even in our Darnhanga city, government, district administration had to manage the supply of the drinking water. So that was the situation. And for 2 years, we are having good rains. The situation has again improved in the Kushizulastan area. Next one. Just see, this shows the typical picture of how there is inundation in the famous Kushizulastan temple, and this is a sign of how and what the situation is there around the Kushizulastan area. Just next one. It is one of the potential Ramsar sites, and the book is by Rahmani, and this has been published by Bombay Natural History Society, and the book was published some 2 decades back, and Kusheshwar, even all the wetlands of Bihar, they were enumerated as potential Ramsar sites at that time. So this is shade what the situation is, but there has been some improvement. Next one. Just see, I procured this photograph from photojournalist Rahul Gupta of this Darnhanga, 30th December 2021. So this is the situation. The birds, the migratory birds, they start cropping up, dipping up here in this area. Next one. But there is large scale poaching now, and the number of birds, migratory birds, has declined to a large extent. And this is a matter of much concern. Again, this is the photograph. These are the photographs of Kusheshwar area. Next one. North Bihar is a land of high floods that visit the area almost every year as a ritual. Majority of the rivers in this area emanate from the Nepal Himalayas, being both snow and rain-fed. These rivers create a catastrophic situation. The region shares about 1/6 of total flood inundations in the country. Floods inflict heavy damage to life and property. Next one. The state of Bihar witnessed raging up. This is one of the important points that I want to stress upon. The state of Bihar witnessed raging of embankments on almost all the major rivers with the purpose of containing the recurring floods in the post-independence years. But the step proved to be counterproductive in the sense that flood-affected area rose from 25 lakh hectares to almost 70 lakh hectares. It is no wonder people are now demanding withdrawal of embankments and free flow of rivers. This has created a piquant situation. Embankments, however, further face breaches, often bringing miseries to people who otherwise remain unaware. So 1974 breach in the Kosi embankment is still remembered by the people. Before the raising of embankments, the area under inundation used to be 25 lakh hectares. But as of today, after the embankments were raised, this area is increased to 70 lakh hectares. So this is the situation. The inundation or waterlogging, constant waterlogging, prolonged waterlogging. So these are the situations now, and thanks the pattern of rainfall has changed. Rainfalls are not so much intense as they were there in earlier times. Next one. Next one. Yes. So this is the situation, and the area Icornia crassipes, then Sesbania rostrata. These are the plants which are serving the purpose of livelihood in this area. Alternate species, Icornia species, etc., etc. All these species, they are being exploited by the people in this area. Next one. This next one. Next one. Next one. Yes. Nuisance inflicted by some major aquatic plants as well as the benefits now derived by the local people from these plants have been incorporated in the table that I am showing right now. Altogether, 14 photographs have been incorporated. Livelihood to depict the livelihood practices in the floodplains of Kusheshwar area. Next one. Next one. Just Icornia crassipes, Darnhanga, Sesbania rostrata, Iponia aquatica. These are the plants that are just lifelines of people in this area. Next one. Yes, next one. Just see. This I want to show a hyacinth bridge. Just see how the area is extensive. Waterlogging is very extensive. So this is a river in that area where people have made a bridge, living bridge of Icornia plant on a river made by local people in the flood affected areas. Just see a rare photograph. Next one. Yes, Icornia, which is a worldwide problem in tropical areas. It is a growing nuisance in this area also, locally called as Kechuli, and the cattle there in that area that feeds upon these Kechuli fronds and suffers from diseases like liver flu, schistosomiasis, etc. So this is the situation. In this situation we come across in our Darnhanga town also, in the neighboring area. Next one. Just see how this hyacinth, but people just adapt to the situation, and they are making the best possible advantage, deriving the best possible advantage of the situation. Now here just see, the maize plantation has grown like anything in this area. this CD block, community development block of Kushishwarastan, has emerged as a major producing block in the entire, I think, 40 blocks of the erstwhile Darnhanga district, when Darnhanga, Madhubani and Samastipur were together. Now just see, ash is used as manure in this maize plantation. Next one. Next one. Icordia crassipes Paleva. Icordia crassipes is one of the major invasive species in tropical regions that has established itself as an obnoxious weed in several parts of the tropical world. Having failed to bring out a control of this fast-growing floating aquaphyte that doubles its biomass within an average period of 12 days, optimum benefits out of its inevitable presence. Being a good source of biomass, it could be harnessed to meet the demands of rural energy through setting up biogas plants. Next one. Again, people in this area have developed an innovative method of using ketchuli as the base material for raising jhang as a capture fishing device. This man-made endeavor remains in operation for 5 to 6 months after the flood recedes during November-December, and the new flood water starts entering these wetlands during April-May. We are having a photograph. Next one. Just see a number of jhangs that are there in the Mehrab Chaur of Kushishwarastan. Just see several Icordia. There is one kawa also. Just see a picturesque scene we observed there. People, they raise jhangs by tying it with rope, and after every 2 to 3 months they take out the fish that is there under the jhang. So it is one of the very significant capture fishery device that is practiced by people in that area. Those belonging to the fishing community and even those who are outside the community, they just take up this practice for their livelihood. Next one. The method, usually known as jhang in local parlance, provides a sense of respectability to this otherwise untamable aquaphyte, which is held as one of the 10 most obnoxious weeds of the world today. However, the jhang fishing method provides a basis of sustainable livelihood to thousands of marginal and poor fisher folks of North Bihar floodplains. They make 4 to 5 fish harvests at intervals of approximately 45 days till the chores start getting fresh water through the rivers traversing the area. This enables them to obtain an average of 500 kg of fish per harvest and earn a net profit of rupees 50,000 per jhang. This amount has just risen. Next one. Just see how they are taking out the fish from the jhang. They are doing this practice by utilizing the nets, fine nets, which are otherwise not permissible. Next one. The hyacinth shelters, just this is about jhang again, how the tangda fish, boari fish, etc. They are parcel from here, this area, to several other places outside Bihar and even out within Bihar. Next one. Just see. Now here, I am showing you with the practice that is adopted there, that is Alternanthera, which is called as sarhanchi, that is there in very high abundance, and it has become again an untamable weed. So for plantation of paddy, they have to just clear it, and this is an arduous task, even involving high cost. So they are taking out this Alternanthera, this weed, for plantation of summer paddy. This is the practice. This was the situation some 10 years back. Now the situation has changed. Next one. Sarhanji, that is Alternanthera species, is another invasive weed in this area, which creates a great hindrance to the Garma Dhan, that is summer paddy plantations. The farmers have to make a heavy investment on its uprootment before the plot could be used for plantation of summer paddy. However, this weed is used as fodder as well as a leafy green by the human beings, more particularly by the goats. It is now stored like dry paddy straw in the form of stacks, often above the stacks of dry paddy straw. Live plants of sarhanchi are also used for raising jhang, either exclusively or in combination with ketchuli. Its leaves are collected to be used as leafy greens by the flood-affected people. Next one. Just see, here I am giving you the example of how a weed is being again along with Icornia. This is also a component, Darnhanga component, has emerged as a component for raising charm. And on the right side, we see people, young boys and girls, they are collecting this Darnhanga leafy green for consumption. Next one. Next one. Now yes, it's what I'm feedback there. Just see, this is a plant of Sesbania. I think in our Bihar, these days, stress is being laid on organic farming. And this Sesbania aculeata here in this area, government is distributing through its shops the seeds of this Sesbania. Now it was in our earlier times, I think my colleagues would remember that in our villages, our fathers, father and uncles, etc., the village people, they used to plant this dhaicha species in between the Rabi and Kharif. Now Bihar government, under its strive for this organic cultivation, is stressing upon distribution of seeds for raising the fertility of the soil through nitrogen fixing bacteria. They are produced on the roots of this Sesbania aculeata or Sesbania rostrata. Now just see on the right side, you see how the stacks are there stored for biomass fuel. This is the lifeline of this region. इससे पहले वाले पढ़ाइए just इसके ठीक पहले अच्छा just see how during peak flood times even the young boys and girls, they have no other option for collecting the fodder of this plant, multifarious plant, and this they are doing. They are plying the boat for the fodder of other animals as well as their goats. Next one. Yes. Then we coming to this Karmisa, Iconia aquatica, is another water plant that grows luxuriantly in this region. It is utilized as fodder for animals and as leafy greens by the poor people, more particularly by those belonging to the Mushar community in this area. Another plant called Thetha, Patit, Behaya, that is Iconia cornea. These are the names, Thetha or Patit, because if you throw its part or stack, it grows on its own. Doesn't require much of attention. This is called Iconia carnea. It's used for protecting the earthen bunds and the roads from erosion caused by the floods. Animals generally do not feed upon its leaves, which are toxic to them. Its dried stems are used as fuel. Next one. Just see. This is the earthen bund, and this is Iconia carnea is planted alongside the bund to provide protection to it from soil erosion caused by the high floods. Next one. Just see the dried tether used for stack for being used as fuel, biomass fuel. Next one. Next one. Just see what is the situation. In the middle, you see a bird watching tower has been raised in Kushishwar area. It was after several years of Red Carpet Day celebration that we used to perform there. We had Dr. Samir Kumar Verma, who is right now is the Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University. He was with us, and a team Arvind Mishra, who is a very significant bird watcher, bird expert of this state. He also used to be with us. So that water tower, that bird tower was raised on, I think, some 2 decades back, but the situation has changed, and newspapers are having news items regarding how the birds are captured. Poaching on a very high note is being observed there. So, just see next one. Again, but the situation has changed. बिहार कैलेंडर में मिलेगा कुशेश्वर स्थान पश्चिम बिहार, जैसा कि मैंने आपको पहले ही कहा कि गवर्नमेंट which was in deep slumber, Bihar government, now it has just come out of it, and the bird sanctuaries, they are getting properly noticed now, and the situation is changing. We have generally in the months of January, also in February, Asian bird count. So again it has started. the groups have been energized, they have been geared up, and the process is likely to start now. Next one. Now, just see how people are using dung cake for their livelihood. Next one. Just see, this is called cobweb, maize cobweb, after removal, after its degraining. Now this is being stored as for livelihood purposes. Next one. Yes, I would like to just conclude my talk. Just see, this is the situation. How this year, in the peak, when there were peak rains, there was inundation all through. There was no way out to just cremate the body. So they are taking the help of this earthen grain storer, koti, and along with this dena, that is maize cobweb, and some of the woods, they are just making this cremation a possibility in this area. Just see, this is the situation that we are observing even today. Next one. Indigenous navigatory devices used during the high floods in North India. How the life goes, just see how people are taking the wood log, even this Icornia crassipes, just to ferry when there is peak flood. Next one. Just see Kela thumb, just these NDRF people. Next one. Just see, these are the adaptations they are making. Necessity is the mother of invention. Next one. Just see how the people are adapting. They are just नाद सबसे नीचे नाद है. How the people are using this नाद, जो कि जानवरों को खिलाने के काम में आता है, उसका यूज लोग कर रहे हैं for feeding during peak floods. Next one. Just see. On the right, on the left upper side, just this was the situation in Panchok village. Government could make it possible to provide them boat during peak flood time in Hanuman Nagar block, and the people there, they made their own intervention. They are using this hollow blank cylinders for just using it as boat during this purpose. These are the various adaptations. Next one. Yes. So with this, I would like to stop here and would like to tell how wetlands are important. And this year there is wetland loss. Much stress is being laid upon the international body for prevention of the wetlands loss. And we have information that during the coming years, the urban population all over the world that is going to transgress the rural population. So wetlands are the easy prey to this entire process of urbanization, and wetlands are being lost everywhere, even in our own Darnhanga, which is called as the city of ponds. Late Dr. Bajmi of Milat College, he made an enumeration of the ponds in Darnhanga town. More than 150 they were enumerated. But see how on account of urbanization, all the vacant plots which are normally full of Icornia, they are being filled up with soil, and along out on the outer periphery of the city, new wetlands are being created. So this is a new situation that we are coming across. Now it is for us, even in the university area, there is a picturesque scene when we take from Google how a number of ponds and tanks we have in this university area. The legacy of Raj Darnhanga that needs to be kept so far as this conservation of wetlands in our own university area is concerned. A number of big tanks, just here where this program is being observed, we are on the bank of the big pond on the front of the Narayan Palace. So this is the natural situation that needs to be preserved, that needs to be conserved in our own university area. And from there is Talab Bachao Abhiyan in several cities. There are programs have been initiated for preservation and conservation of the river Sariska in Ramsor, Lakhandei, in Sitamarhi, and at a number of other places. The Abhiyans and endeavors are being have been taken up, and we should provide our moral support, strategic support to this drive. And with this, I would like to stop here. thank you for providing me this opportunity, to my senior colleague Professor B.S. Zaji, Professor Nihal Sahab, Vishwar Babu, Mr. Verma ji. So thank you once again. I had occasions earlier also to address programs, but this one has provided me an elated feeling that one is being recognized even in the home. Thank you.
I could not prevent myself after hearing this beautiful lecture from our esteemed colleague, Professor Vidyanand Ji. Vidyanand Ji, I call upon you. You have since superannuated, and I will be one among you after just 26 days. So, I will be one among you after 26 days. I call upon you, rather I give a call, that you should take the lead. I have some 20 lists of wetlands in Madhubani and Darnhanga districts. Besides, there are some wetlands in Muzaffarpur, Motilal in West Motihari. So there are still a lot of wetlands of North Bihar only that keeps to be designated as Ramsar site, that deserve to be designated. So let us form an association of, say, wetland preservers, conservers, and with the help of our students, we should impress upon government of Bihar to designate the remaining wetlands available in North Bihar as Ramsar site, so that the environmental or ecological balance could be maintained. Thank you.
So, we had this detailed deliberation by Professor Vidyanand Jha. He justified his name Vidya, and it included all possible aspects of the topic of the day, that began with biodiversity, then cultural heritage, then economics, then religious activities, and very interestingly enough that some of the government activities of embankment that has led to vast increase by 3 times the flood affected areas, naturally bringing misery to the life of people. So all things taken together, and then he added his talk with virtually the on-site photographs where he had also been part of in some of them. So it was a kind of tour, wetland tour, that he took us to, and we were exposed to all such details. A complete package of information. We are really thankful and obliged for bringing before all various aspects, 48, I think the names that he has mentioned, up to 2021, 48 sites which are still included. Then it created interest, just see, instant interest. And then what we saw, Professor B.S. coming, and he has proposed future course of activities. So this is the success of this day, when it created awareness, it created interest with a proposal. So I am very sure that the days to come will have better time and better preservation, better popularity and better expansion of this gift of nature, what we call wetland. Thank you very much, Professor Vidyanand Jha. And now I understand, I hope that Dr. Archana will be deliberating her talk under this key speaking. So I invite Dr. Archana Sinha, please.
जो ज्वाइन करना चाहता है इस बीच में उसको अलाउ कर दो। व्हाट्सएप कॉल बच्चे इन लोग को ही चाय पिलाना, वो जो लोग हैं व्हाट्सएप कॉल पर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रही है।
कुछ प्रॉब्लम है उसको अनाउंस करके करना
ऐसा करो तो तुम आ जाओ उसके
नहीं एक चीज़ उनका वहाँ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम हो गया है।
So whenever she gets back,
No, probably she will be getting back now. She is not even taking this call. But I want to make it pretty sure that she is coming or not.
that he can only
Because
So we are at a point where Dr. Archana is still finding some problem, some technical hitch in getting connected. So meanwhile, I think using this gap period, I would like to request my colleague, Dr. Sashil Kumar Verma, to kindly come and say relevant facts about this day and how do we go ahead with this, please.
कुछ विद्यार्थी हमारे पीजी के लिए रहे हैं कि उनको यूट्यूब पर ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं, स्क्रीन नहीं बना।
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Ma'am, I on behalf of the University Department of Zoology am greatly thankful to both these authorities for providing the opportunity to celebrate this day, World Wetlands Day. Besides that, I am very much thankful to our head of the department, Professor P.S. Jha, and as well as Dean Science, and my two colleagues, Dr. Mohammad Nihal, Bhavesh. Unfortunately, one of our colleagues is ill seriously, and she could not join. I hope she has already joined the program online. My esteemed friend, Dr. Mohammad Nihal, has given me this opportunity to make a concluding remark on the topic. just to mention that I have also been very much attached to these wetlands. Though it has never been my preferred topic of research, but it is also true that I never left this topic, and in a way or another way I have been associated with this. We have listened lots of account, first of all given by our head of the department, followed by our Honorable Pro-Vice Chancellor, and then the most illustrative and lucid account given by Professor Narayan. I don't know one reason, though he has given a very exhaustive account on the wetlands, but I don't know why he failed to mention about his own book that he has authored. He is one of the co-authors, that's on Makhana. And unfortunately, he also mentioned about Makhana, which happens to be the most significant crop of these wetlands. And we are proud, we the peoples of Mithila are proud of being the sole growers of this dry fruit item, which has a very high economic value. The reason may be best known to him. However, what I want to emphasize in my talk, that I openly invite all the research students to come and to be attracted scientifically to this wetlands. We have gone through a very exhaustive account, but why I want to mention here that this particular location, geographical location, has got many good wetlands. And wetlands are very dynamic system. It is much more dynamic than so far we have been able to understand it scientifically. And those who want to investigate this dynamic system has many subjects to explore from many point of view. It's such a productive system that I just simply give you an example. You might have seen freshwater tortoise, maybe 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg. But I just remember that once I had been to Kuseswarasthan with my friends. Just at the time fishermen were fishing, and they put out a tortoise that was, I think, I cannot say the weight, but it must be not less than 40 kg. And in a funny mood I was there, and so I sat on the tortoise. And as soon as I sat on the tortoise, it started moving, and it took me to about not less than 40 feet, very conveniently. That tortoise was from a wetland area, Kuseswarasthan. So this provides an open opportunity, because now you see much accounts have been given by the peoples that the government, not only the international but national and our state governments is also providing many attentions on this point. These all attentions are not meaningless. They now all understand the potentiality of these wetlands. Now it's the time for we all students and teachers to understand this point seriously and to come forward to see these wetlands scientifically from different angles and to explore the possibilities. But because I believe that it has got so many opportunities, but I don't know why it doesn't attract the peoples. Probably it is probably that they do not understand and they take it as a simply wetlands or abandoned lands. But these are, as earlier called, abandoned lands. They are not abandoned. They are gold mines from every point of view. It's right time to come forward and to investigate into the different aspects of the wetlands and give the opportunities, open the opportunities that can be transformed into economic exploitation. So by this I just sum up my talk and give an open invitation to all my research scholars who have joined online and are sitting in my front. Come forward and see this with a scientific angle. Thank you very much to all of you.
I want to use this platform for giving an information to all my students, faculty members, and even those who matters in society. I have just received a message from Indian Institute of Science, which has a RESPIN project. इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस को रेस्पिन प्रोजेक्ट है और आप जानते हैं कि ये डिजिटल वर्ल्ड है। आने वाले समय में हम अगर डिजिटली और कंप्यूटर से भी नहीं होंगे तो हमारा विकास का जो गति है वो अवरुद्ध हो जाएगा। इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस ने कि अपने रेस्पिन परियोजना के अंतर्गत एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम चलाया है जिसमें हिंदुस्तान में कई भाषाएं बोली जाती हैं और कई बोलियां हैं। उदाहरण के लिए मैं बताऊं तो मैथिली जो मैं बोलता हूं वो अगर इस मिथिला के ही किसी दूसरे कास्ट के लोग उसमें कुछ विविधता हो जाएगी तो उसको बोली कहते हैं। इस प्रकार से विभिन्न बोलियां हैं। अंगिका है, मुजफ्फरपुर से मिलता है तो हमारा भाषा थोड़ा सा अलग हो जाता है। तो कंप्यूटर वो रेस्पिन योजना के अंतर वो कर क्या रहे हैं कि घर बैठे उनको चाहिए कंप्यूटर को वो प्रशिक्षित करेंगे, कंप्यूटर को ही वो ट्रेनिंग देंगे कि ट्रांसलेट करो इस भाषा का, इस बोली का, उसका प्रशिक्षण योजना है उन लोगों का। तो अगर आप अपनी बोली को रिकॉर्ड कर दें और उसको हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में अनुवाद करके भेजें तो 25,000 रुपये तक का इंसेंटिव भी मिलेगा और आपकी बोली जो बोली जाती है उसको कंप्यूटर कल होकर वो क्या करेंगे, रिकॉग्नाइज करेंगे और आप अपनी बोली में ही कंप्यूटर पर सारे काम करेंगे। तो ये इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस का एक प्रोजेक्ट है जिनका मैं अपने रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स को अभी उनके व्हाट्सएप पर फॉरवर्ड कर दूंगा इसका डिटेल्स। और साइंस फैकल्टी के वैसे स्टूडेंट्स जो इसमें इच्छुक हों वो आवेंगे, उनको भी प्रोवाइड कर दिया जाएगा। तो मेरी समझ से एक अच्छी परियोजना भी है, कुछ प्रोत्साहन राशि भी है ताकि इस एरिया का विकास हो सके। कंप्यूटर में हमारा जो हमसे हमारे द्वारा या अनपढ़ औरतों के द्वारा या अनपढ़ पुरुषों के द्वारा जो बोली बोली जाती है सबों को रिकॉग्नाइज वो करेगा। तो मैं चाहूँगा कि हमारे कुछ स्टूडेंट्स इसमें लीड लें और वो अपना रिकॉर्डिंग कर लें, उसको ट्रांसक्रिप्ट कर लें और वहाँ भेजें। तो उनको प्रोत्साहन राशि भी अप टू 25,000 दिया है। तो इस फंक्शन के समाप्ति के बाद जो भी रिसर्च स्कॉलर मेरे हैं वो ये अपने व्हाट्सएप पर उससे ले लें और इसको काइंडली इसमें अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन दे तो सोसाइटी का कुछ कल्याण होगा। थैंक यू।
Thanks, Professor Biaja, for using this occasion for dissemination of a very relevant information as regards to Indian Institute of Science Bangalore and some of their projects. Now, after Professor Shishir Kumar Verma has his talk, which was again very lucid, very informative, and I must say that on a lighter vein, कि गणेश जी की सवारी तो हम लोगों ने सुना था चूहा होता है, और today we heard from Professor Shishir Kumar Verma on Wetlands Day that उन्होंने कछुआ की सवारी की थी. So this was find of the day on a lighter note. Very nice, and thank you very much for sharing some of your personal experiences on this day, which was very informative, very interesting. And now, at the close of the session, I am to request Professor Bhaveshwar Singh of this Department of Zoology to please come for vote of thanks.
गणेश को जरूर थैंक्स दीजिएगा, सबसे अधिक थैंक्स डिजर्व करता है।
Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor S.P. Singh, Pro Vice Chancellor Ma'am, Dr. Lalit Sinha, respected Professor B.S. Jha, chairing the event of today, our Honorable Speaker Dr. Vidyanath Jha, my colleagues Professor Shishir Kumar Verma, Professor Nehal, research scholars, and all who have joined this event online and have attended the sessions. It's really a great day for our department that this event has been organized on the eve of World Wetlands Day, and we have been able to learn many new things from the speakers, and I think we couldn't listen to Ma'am Archana Ma'am who was to present her speech, but due to some technical hitch, as it was informed that we couldn't get her, but still we have gathered so many new inputs, and personally I feel greatly obliged to the speakers, Professor Jha, Professor Verma, and even my dear colleague Professor Nehal, who could give a very lucid and informative opening remarks today. I would be failing my duty if I don't convey my compliments to Dr. Ganesh Paswan, who has been all through giving a very fine and good technical support. And I would like to close with thanks to my all staff of this department who have taken a lot of pains to get this thing organized. And finally, I conclude by thanking all the delegates, participants, offline and online. Thank you. Now the session comes to end. Thank you.
इसको डिस्कनेक्ट कर देना।